Today we'll be discussing Vonage CX Express, the call center offering for Vonage Business Communications that allows you to elevate your user experience and provide more advanced call center features above the Vonage Business Communications call queues. Let's take a look. From the dashboard on your home screen, it allows you to navigate and jump to several areas. However, all of the areas are available running down the left-hand side of the screen. The first area is the contact pad. This is the area that allows you to log in and make and receive calls from inside your queues. You can see here on the Home tab that my default telephone number is being populated from my Vonage Business Communications number. However, that number can be changed by clicking Settings or going to your user admin section, and in the user, you can change that number to whatever you need. Perhaps you're working remotely from home and you don't want to use the Vonage Business Communications number, you'd rather use your cell phone. You can change that. You can also see what groups I'm a member of, in this case, sales and support. My next tab is showing what my last call was, the number that they dialed, and the caller ID of the customer. I can see my prior history of all calls and missed calls. And finally, I can see all of the queues that I'm a member of. I can see how many calls are waiting, how many were interrupted, etc. It should be noted that you will only see information of all the queues that you have skills in. It will not break them down individually. Up above, I have my status, which I have listed as away. However, you do have several in here that you can choose from, and these are customizable where you can set them for break, comfort break, paperwork, lunch, etc. You also have the capability to put yourself in a ready state with one button push. You can make calls if you have the system set to allow you to do outbound calling. You can place yourself on hold with your customer, and you can also do consultative transfers. So if you need to pull another agent in to advance that caller to the next tier, you can do so right from inside the system. Skills management is how you build the system to let the calls know how they're going to be routed to your agents. In this system, you can set up multiple skills and allow multiple tags to be attached to that call to make sure it's routed more finely to the proper agent. For example, if I have one for English and two for Spanish, if the caller is calling and they press 2 for Spanish, it will look for agents that have the Spanish switch turned on. You can set these skills either one by one inside of this side, or you can go into the user administration section and set it by user and group as a whole and remove agents from there if you want to. Your dashboard section allows you to build wallboard style dashboards very quickly and easily by leveraging widgets. This system you can set with several different types of methods, either by using tables or numbering or thresholds, color coding, etc. And it's as simple as creating a new widget, telling it that you want to run a metric on groups, for example. And you can see automatically when I click these options that the widget style will change automatically based off what I'm looking for. I can add what I'm looking for. I can give it a percentage, and I can also give it thresholds to set if I wanted to change color when I meet or don't meet certain thresholds. Once you're done, you can give it a name so you can clearly identify it and hit save. Once you're done, you can see that widget inside your dashboard, and you can easily move and auto resize these at any time by clicking on your settings. And you can also do cloning and configuring or deleting in here as well. Your real-time system would be leveraged best when you're looking at agents. This would be used for your call monitoring, for example. If you wanted to do a silent monitor or you wanted to do an administrative barge, You can simply click on their name, right click on it, and you can actually set their wrap up. If they forgot to, you can set their away or set their extended away if for some reason they didn't do it. And you can also set their ready for outbound calling if they're supposed to. This system is very dynamic and allows you to go in and look at these at any given time. Your call recordings as they're active will also show up in here. Your interaction architect is where you actually build your IVR. So this is going to be, for example, if I click on the main number and tell it to display the selection, it's going to actually use the skill taggers to build out the call flow. As you can see here, this is a very large list and may be complex for some users. So you can click on the visualize button, and this will give you a visual representation of the system so that you can clearly see what those skill taggers are doing and how it's routing the calls. So you can see here, I'm actually going into my routing business hours. I can click here and it actually shows me visually what time of the day, what it's doing. If I need to change that, I can do so by simply clicking on the main greeting, and it will show me what I want the system to say. Now, inside the main greeting, I can actually upload a custom audio file if I have one. However, it is recommended that you type out what that audio file says. If for some reason the audio file does not play, what it is supposed to say will be read out to the customer as text to audio. You can also point it directly here to the next applet that you want to run. Or you can click the visualize call plan to simply bring yourself back so that you can click on the next. You can see here that the system is very easy to visualize and set up, going from my routing to my main greeting. In this case, I have my call recording starting before they go to the main menu. However, I can custom configure that as to whether or not I want the call to start at that point in the recording, or do I want to wait till an agent actually picks up the call. Finally, it will go to the main menu option. Again, we mentioned press 1 for English, 2 for Spanish. It will take all of these options and route the call appropriately and look for agents that have those tags and present the calls to only those agents. So in reality, you can end up with one massive queue if you would like, and it will use the skills to route the call to the appropriate agents in that queue. However, you could also create a VIP line. So if you imagine here a sales line and a VIP line, all of the agents are listed in the sales line, but you may only have 5 or 6 listed in the VIP line, and they have the additional skill tag of VIP, not just sales. So when the VIP caller calls in, the call can be routed to the VIP line, and those appropriate agents will answer that VIP line without negatively impacting the overall sales queue. This is just one example, but as you can see, there are many configurations you can do in this system. And you can speak to your sales engineer and they can show you more in depth how it can help you for your workflow. Your stats and reporting section allows you to go in and customize and build reports that you need. Out of the box, we will custom build 3 standard forms for you. Your manage summary profiles, which is your Q summary report. And you can go in and select your start and end dates that you want to run this report on. In this case, I'll go March 1st to March 20th, and I'll tell it that I just want to display the results here. It will generate by day my metrics so I can go in and look at these and see exactly what I did. I can print these, and I also have the capability to generate a graph. I also have a standardized report for my agent summary, and I have a standardized report for CDR email profiles. However, again, you can go in and create as many reports as you want. We just build the standards for you. Call recordings allows me to go in and look at call recordings by date. So if I want to go back to the first and hit search, I don't have any in here. However, I can go back farther if I need to find call recordings. I can also search by phone number, caller ID, or agent, whether it was inbound or outbound. This allows me to see my recordings in this display and play them. I can also download them from here one by one. My system audit allows me to go in and do system audits on who's doing what inside the system. If they're creating reports, or they're logging in, or they're logging out, or they're deleting something, I can see who's done what in the system. So this is great for an advanced administrator to go in and see what's being done in the system. Your system settings area allows you to manage your password settings and your security. You can see what your licenses are, your short codes. This would be where you could go in and set up some short codes if you need to for the system. And you can also modify your agent states and sub states. So I can go in here and I can actually modify my break. I can add all of those different setups, and I can also customize what I want it to do after they receive a call. Do I want it to put them into a wrap-up state? If so, for how long, etc. In the user administration section, this allows me to go in and see all of my users, and I can easily filter by name. I can see their skills, their groups. I can edit them, and I can also see the administrative level that they have. So if I take a look in here, I can actually see under agent settings, this is where the phone number is populated for that contact pad. I can change this number at any time. However, in this case, we mentioned earlier about setting groups and skills. I can go in here at any time and look at my skills and click on Spanish, for example, and this will show me all of the users that are assigned. I can add users from here. I can also remove users from here. So this would be a lot easier for you if you're trying to mass deploy a skill to a user, if you would prefer to do it this way rather than doing it from the skills management section. Data source mappings is a much more advanced piece, and we will cover that when an engineer gets more in depth with you. But we also have documentation that walks you through how things work in the system and any type of customizations that you might want to do. We hope you've enjoyed this basic demonstration of the Vonage CX Express system, and please feel free to reach out to your sales team and sales engineer for a more in-depth demo to see how Vonage can help you in your contact center.